Talkin Blue Live.
Yes, hi. My name is Dorothy, and I'm a first-time caller.
Dorothy, where are you from?
Well, I'm from Studio City.
You're from Studio City.
Long-time Dodger fan. And I know you're the guru from...
That's a bit much.
Well...
That's a bit much. Guru?
Well, you're the guru of why so much of L.A. is blacked out, because I saw your documentary, Moneyball. And I do have a question for you. Why isn't Major League Baseball stepping in on this?
Well, because there's no real financial incentive, and at the end of the day, it comes about, you know, what if there's money to be made, action is taken, and if there's money to be lost, no action will be taken. This TV deal, and I don't want to get into this one too much, because it's kind of a negative thing, and I don't want to start off this way. This is my first YouTube broadcast, Dorothy. Did you know that?
I do, but
right on.
I'm having trouble getting it up, and
okay.
My computer is not terrific, you know. Trying to, like I said, I'm an old baseball fan, so I'm also not tech savvy. I do have another question.
But let me answer. Let me finish. Dorothy, hold on a second.
Go ahead.
Let me just tell you quickly that I don't think Major League Baseball is going to get involved in that, and the reason is there's a thing called Major League Baseball Advanced Media, and when the Dodgers make a TV deal like that, 30% of the money goes back to the league. And so the league gets a ton of money. And so the league's not going to come in and change the deal. What's your second question?
I kind of miss small ball. And I read that it all has to do now with the metrics of, you know, how these young guys are taught.
Yeah. It definitely has to do with the sabermetrics. There's a whole idea that want to hit the ball in the air now.
Right.
When I played, you were taught to strike down at the ball. I just saw Cal Ripken on the Major League Baseball channel recently. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just fine.
Okay, good. But I just saw Cal Ripken, and he was talking about how when he was trained, and as a pretty good hitter, and he made quite a career, but he was trained to kind of hit down on the ball and get backspin going. You know, I don't know. Things change. I know one thing for sure. There was a batting coach named Charlie Lau who thought you would let go of the bat at one point with one hand, and that was a good swing. And then Walt Riniak was a type of hitting coach. So hitting styles always change. Now with the sabermetrics, I don't know. I miss small ball too. I miss the excitement of it. It's kind of like sitting around waiting for the bomb is the way the game is played now. But I'm with you on that, actually. But, you know, I'm sure.
I feel like I'm dating myself if I use the word bunt.
Yeah, I don't know what a bunt is anymore.
Yeah, I can spell it, but I haven't seen one in a long, long time. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. And I'm really, really pleased that you've got a talk show after. I think you should have one after every game. But I'll settle for after every series.
Yeah, well, it's going on after every series. You're my first YouTube caller. We've been doing it on Facebook, and we've had quite a bit of success and a lot of callers. And usually the shows go for about an hour and a half, and Dodger fans call in. And the thing is, Dorothy, I'm not that interesting. It really is about Dodger fans calling in and hearing their voices. So, thank you very much for giving us a call.
Sure, and I'll check you out on Facebook.
Okay.
Well, okay, thank you.
Or check out the YouTube if you can get it up.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Right. Okay, Dodger fans. So that was a quick call. It rang before I even got hooked up, but that's a good sign. We're doing a show tonight from, and this is a late show, so I don't expect a whole lot of activity, but you know, we get activity. Dodger fans, find a place to be heard. This is it. You're not going to be heard on Sportsnet LA, and you're not going to be heard on Radio 570. You can call into Radio 570, but mostly, you know, if you try to listen to that, it's just commercials. Dave Essay does a great job, but it's commercials. People pay $50,000 a year to have $100,000 a year to have commercials on there, and so you're going to get a lot of commercials. There's no commercials here. this is just me and Dodger fans talking, and that's why I put this together. I have had people say, like Dorothy here, that they want me to do it after every game, but that's 162 games. So, and I thought about after every home game or every road game, and then I just decided at the end of every series. So at the end of every series, you can see, there's a schedule here. You can see, we do 51 series. We do 27 Sundays, 18 Wednesdays, 7 Thursdays. Sundays, we've been knocking out, there will be one every Sunday this summer, which is kind of odd. Series end on Sundays, and then they end on Wednesdays, and they end on Thursdays. Series do not end on Fridays, Mondays, or Tuesdays. So that's when you'll be seeing me, and that's when you get the chance to call in and talk. We've had a lot of different people call in. We've had the guys from Let's Be Frank. We've had Angry Albert. Gail Johnson's called in. Jeff Schneider. That guy knows a lot about baseball. And my special guest host today will be Ron when he calls in. He's actually in the press box and today, so maybe he'll have some nice juicy stories for us. But you know, my feeling about what we just saw this last series with the Colorado Rockies, and please do call in. Let me put the thing up here so you can see where to call in. Is that, you know, it's Dodger pitching. I mean, Dodgers, all my life, it's been about pitching, and, you know, it showed again today. Kenta was awesome. Kenley's obviously coming around in a big way. In fact, I looked at a couple tweets. Bill Plunkett and this was before Kenley's performance today. Kenley, he's warming up to pitch at ninth, and over the past 9 innings, he struck out 7. He's had 0 walks, and people are batting 129 against him. And I think he struck out 2 today. I was kind of setting up and not paying attention. So that's a biggie. And for the Dodgers, it's about pitching. It will always be about pitching as far as I'm concerned. That's just how this team's built. And then you got Kenta Maeda in his last 2 starts. This is Bill Plunkett again. Hold on a minute. Talkin Blue Live, can you hold on a second?
Yep.
Okay, hold on. So then Kenta Maeda in his past 2 starts is gone 14 2/3, so that's 15 innings. So that's 7+ a game. 0 runs, 4 hits, 4 walks, 20 strikeouts. I was kind of one of those people that was kind of lobbying for Kenta to go to the bullpen. My dumb ass. So, who's called? Who's on the line?
Hey, it's Frank Talk LA. How you doing, Tom?
Frank Talk LA. How are you? You found me over on YouTube. I just found out we're going to be doing YouTube. We've been doing Facebook. Is everything cool? Are you able to see it? Are you?
Yeah, it looks good so far.
Oh, cool. Okay. So what do you got, bud? We just took. Hold on a minute. We just got. I promised I would do this for every series we win. I bring up the old 76 ball and rotate it. We just won our 4th series of the season. That's not super great, Frank, but it's not bad. We're going the right direction. What do you got?
Hey, is that the same 76 ball that you committed to swallowing whole? What was your deal you made?
I'll swallow this whole if Major League Baseball decides to get involved in the Dodger television deal. I will swallow this thing whole. And that's not the part that scares me. You know what scares me, Frank? Is getting it through the whole system and on the way out. That's what scares me. So what's up, buddy? I mean, how you feeling?
Well, obviously the Dodgers are on the upswing. They're turning things around for the time being, it seems like.
Yeah.
More so than just the win. Obviously, they're playing some good ball.
Yeah, I agree.
They're scoring runs. They're hitting a little better with runners in scoring position. And they were getting runners in scoring position often. And that wasn't really the issue.
Yeah.
It was just cashing in, and they've been cashing in now. And the pitching, obviously, as you were just pointing out, is, Ross Stripling, Kenta Maeda, and Alex Wood, they've been pitching well. Obviously, Walker Buehler has been sensational, really.
Yeah. A super surprise.
So that looks good. I mean, all those factors look good. Obviously, we need to see how this is all going to hold up with Kershaw. How's Kershaw going to be when he returns? what are we going to get out of Kershaw? You know, is that injury, is it serious or is it not?
Yeah. Well, the first thing I'm gonna look at with Kershaw when he comes back is his velocity, and I don't normally like focus on velocity and stuff. I kind of do more of an eyeball thing. I like the numbers but I really kind of do an eyeball thing. But I'm gonna look at his velocity because, you know, one of the things he's gone down. I did a piece on this over on Facebook on one of the Facebook post game shows. And because his velocity was down, he had to go to a slider more, and that's his out pitch. People were jumping on the slider because they were seeing a lot more of it. So, what's your feeling about Kershaw? And I don't know. I'm really not super hopeful, although he's a great competitor. I'm a little concerned that he's going to come back. You know, Kershaw.
No, right. I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. I think we talked about this a couple episodes back where. Just that his slider being thrown more often is no longer the surprise pitch, or you know, he relied a lot more heavily on that because of the decrease in his fastball velocity.
Right.
So I mean, you know, it is going to be a factor. Where is he sitting? If he's sitting in the very low 90s, then he's throwing his slider more. If he's back up to 93, 94, then you don't have to worry so much. And then not only how often he's throwing the slider, but how much is that slider biting, right? That's been a big thing the last probably like season and a half or so now. And so that's going to be something to look at, you know, what are the after effects of this bicep tendonitis? And, you know, hopefully there's no issues with the back. So, you know, those are things to keep an eye on for sure with Kershaw. But, I mean, if Wood can maintain his good pitching, obviously we don't know. Well, you know, obviously, yes, with Wood, and Maeda's not going to be this sensational throughout the rest of the season. I mean, I don't think we can imagine that. He'll regress to some sort of mean.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a good pitcher, and he's
been
a good pitcher since he's come over to the major leagues. So.
Well, let me just show you something here that I just saw about Kenta. Let's see here. Let's see. You'll see it on your screen here. Kenta, this is from Dodgers Nation, a great resource actually for good fun writers. I call them the outsiders. They don't work for the club, so they basically can kind of say what they want, but which is cool. And they kind of put a thing out here that says Kenta ranks 6th in the National League for total wins since his debut in 2016. So you got Scherzer with 43 wins, and I know wins aren't important, wins don't matter, but this list here tells me wins are a little important. These guys are good pitchers. So Scherzer's got 43 wins, Lester's got 36, Arrieta and Strasburg got 35, Greinke's got 33, and Kenta's up there. He's 6th on that list with 32 wins. So, you know, I agree. We can't count on him being lights out like he is, but I think he can come through for a full season. He's looking pretty good, and I really like.
No, absolutely. I mean, he led the team in wins 2 seasons ago.
He did?
That 2016 season.
He did.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a solid guy who, obviously, at his best, can pitch like he's pitched the last two games. So he's someone you can rely on. Wood seems to be someone you can rely on. That's 2/5 of the way there.
Right.
Obviously, if Kershaw's anything close to what he is, then now you're 3/5 of the way there.
And
I had 2 questions for you, actually. Number one, what happens with Walker Buehler? Obviously, we see that hard cap, what was it, 150 innings, I think was the absolute ceiling for him this season. I mean, right now you can't do much because you need him in the rotation, but once maybe Kershaw comes back and maybe even Hill, do you just sit Buehler? Does he play catch for a month? You know what I mean? What do you do? Do you just max him out and get him to his cap and then shut him down?
Well, what they did, remember, several years ago, and this is how agents kind of run baseball. It's like, hey, this is my player. He's got a cap. Do you remember Strasburg? They just shut him down before the playoffs last year.
We asked in light of that because that was the highest profile case of Strasburg. He was the ace. Remember, Scherzer wasn't with the team, I don't believe, yet.
Right.
And Strasburg
So my feeling is
Would that happen with Bueller?
I think that's the only thing to do, because you're right. What are you going to do? Just not let him pitch in July and then bring him back? And I mean, it's not going to be that way. And the guy's only got so many bullets in his gun. Do you want him really shooting those bullets in the minors? I mean, it really just boils. I think it's just going to be he is going to be used until he's done with his. Where did you hear the 150?
I heard that early on, and I think at Players Fest they talked about it, or Fan Fest, and then going into spring training. I heard 130, but then Dave Roberts, I think it was, who first mentioned that number and said he can go as high as 150.
Yeah, I don't. My feeling is that's going to be a hard line. I just don't think. I don't think that's a number that they just made up. So I'm just going to guess that he's going to hit his. They're going to probably try to ease him to his 150 later in the season, but come playoff time, I don't think he's going to be a factor. I don't know. That's a damn good question, though.
That's interesting. I mean, it's unfortunate if that's the case.
It is.
But there's that. And the other thing I wanted to mention, I saw this written, and there's a lot of talk about, what happens at the trade deadline. Obviously, that's a long day. That's far away. A lot has to happen between now and then.
Yeah.
But if the Dodgers, as we presume they will be, are buyers, what do you think about a package of centered around? If you're thinking two blue chippers, what do you think about a package of Verdugo, Gavin Lux, who is a first round shortstop that we picked up, or we picked a couple seasons ago, and probably a pitching prospect
for
someone like Manny Machado?
I don't know, man. Is he a rental?
He's absolutely a rental. I mean, he's not.
Then no.
I mean, he starts off as a rental. Now you can always re-sign him.
You could.
You might have the advantage going into offseason if he finished with you. But obviously, we'll see. We saw how that played out with Yu Darvish.
Yeah,
right. I'm just thinking to get that real big power bat. It doesn't seem like Cody's going to be that this season. Turner, it seems like, is the major one. I don't know if Camp will keep up his production. It really just kind of does push you. I mean, there's pros and cons, obviously. The pros are Machado's having a career year. Probably pushes you to an elite level offense.
Yeah.
To add a bat like that, much like the former, a different Manny, Manny Ramirez did back in when he came over in 08 and 09 and whatnot. So.
Yeah, I mean he could light it up like Manny Ramirez did. It's just I keep coming back to it. I was talking to a general manager once. He was a football general manager, and he said, "You know what the difference between a good general manager and a bad general manager is?" And I said, "No, I can't even believe I'm talking to a general manager." And he said, "Good general managers pay players for what they're going to do. Bad general managers pay players for what they did." Now, that doesn't apply directly here, but my feeling is that Verdugo... Hold on. Hello. You there?
I'm here. Yeah, I don't know if that was your phone.
No, hang on, Frank. That was me. You there, Ron? Ron? All right, call back, buddy, because you did get through. But Verdugo is one of those players, Frank, I don't want to let go of. Hey, Ron? Ron, you're not coming through, buddy. No.
Are you trying to connect them in on the broadcast here?
Yeah. Hey, Ron? Yeah, Ron, you're not coming through, man. Try it again. I don't know what to tell you. It's not mine. So, but Verdugo, I look at Verdugo and I just don't want to let that guy go. I mean, I know Machado could help, but at the end of the day, third time's a charm. Ron Cervenka? Ron, I don't know, man. You're not getting through.
I had some issues here.
Oh, here you go. I can hear you now.
Okay, I got to plug in my headset. Hang on.
All right. So, Ron, I'm having a conversation. Just sit tight for a minute, okay? We'll come around to you. That's Ron Cervenka. He's going to be Dodger fans. He's a great guy to have a conversation with. He was probably sitting and talking to some of the Dodgers tonight. Anyway, Frank, so that's my take on Machado. I don't, I just think there's too much upside, and Verdugo's going to be a bargain, man, for 3 or 4 years. He's going to be cheap, and I think in the long run, building it. If I felt like we were like super, this was our year, which it may be, I might say, yeah, let's do it. But I just don't feel like it's worth the cost. What do you?
I hear you. I mean, it's something I've read from a couple of different sources.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's an interesting package, and that kind of leads me into, what do you foresee? And maybe Ron can speak to this a little bit. I know he frequents, Cucamonga, and he probably already has had some encounters with Gavin Lux. But what do we foresee Gavin Lux's role being? Is he the guy who maybe pushes Seager over to third base once Turner's contract is up in 2 seasons? Or is he strictly a trade chip? Maybe shift over to second base if Seager stays long term at short. What do we think?
Hey, Ron, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so did you hear the question by the caller, Frank?
I did not.
Okay, so
I'm sorry.
You having a little trouble hearing?
Can you hear me, Ron?
I'm dealing with the vacuum cleaner on the field and all of that stuff tonight here. So go ahead.
But basically, you can hear me, though. I'll relay it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Basically, what Lux? There's a minor league shortstop named Gavin Lux.
Yeah.
And Frank was talking about the potential of trying to improve the team this year by trading for Machado or maybe someone else, but somewhere at the trade deadline. And I think he's trying to ascertain what chips we have that we may or may not be willing to risk. And so I don't want to risk Verdugo. I see a very special player there. I don't want him to go away. But I don't know this Gavin Lux. Can you tell us a little bit about him, or do you think he might be a chip, or what's your take?
Is Frank of the opinion that Gavin is tradable, or does he say no?
Frank, you hear that?
Yeah. So I guess it all centers around the question of what is the forecast for Gavin Lux? Does he push Turner? Does he push Seager over to third base once Turner's contract is up in 2 seasons? Or if Seager sticks around at shortstop long term, does Gavin Lux shift to second base, or does he go somewhere else?
Well, it's when I spoke with Gavin, it's been about 3 weeks, but I asked him specifically where he would rather play, and he would rather play shortstop. He says he's a natural shortstop. My opinion with regards to him being a trade chip, it's going to be if we can't have Corey Seager, or if Corey Seager's out any extended period of time beyond where he is at. At high A, he's probably not going to make it to the bigs this year. But Gavin Lux, to me, I don't want to call him a Corey Seager caliber shortstop. But Gavin Lux is a very, very good shortstop. He's very mature for his age. He's only 20, but when you talk to him, it's like he's 25. I mean, he's really, really very mature, both personally and on the field. So he's one of the guys, this always happens. I get to liking these guys, and I really don't want to see him go. He's one of the guys. There's not a lot between Corey Seager and Gavin Lux, and I think that kind of was the point you were getting at. Is that we don't have a whole lot of shortstop talent. I don't want to cut anybody short or deny anybody their due, but in my opinion, Gavin Lux is that caliber. He's not quite Corey, but he's a first-round draft pick. So was Corey. So if you get my drift there, I think Gavin is the kind of guy that you really want to hang on to. Now, that being said, you got Omar Estevez, who is playing second base, but can also play short. I didn't see the final line, but I think he was a double shy of the cycle tonight. I don't know if he got it because I had to run downstairs after the Dodger game here. So, but anyway, Omar Estevez, you saw him in spring training. This kid's really talented.
Yeah, I do recall.
He's a guy that would be a trade piece.
Well, then my feeling is if Gavin Lux is young, and I know Corey's young, and I think Corey's going to come back, unless they were to move him to third after Turner's contract runs out. Maybe he is a bargaining chip for a trade. I don't know. Maybe he is. That's it's at least something to consider, Frank. It's not out of the realm of possibility in this case.
Ron's on the line, and he has lots of experience with some of the younger prospects. Obviously, with the recent promotion of Dennis Santana from AA now pitching for OKC, does he look like he's on the fast track? Might he see the bigs later this season?
Well, I'm gonna toot Ron's horn a little bit here. A couple of weeks ago, I said, "Hey, what do we got in the minors? We just lost. Ryu got hurt and Kershaw went down." And I said, "What do we got in the minors? I mean, we're gonna have to start digging up some of the farm hands." And he said, "Well, I think Santana's good. He's not a AAA yet." And then, like a week later, he was moved up. So, Ron, is he gonna pitch in the majors this year? Possibly.
I think he will. I absolutely think he will. Matter of fact, I even tweeted that out. I think that somebody asked me, "Is he Walter Buehler-esque?" Was the question that I was asked on Twitter, and my answer was very much so. I said he is a natural starting pitcher, but I would not be surprised to see the Dodgers bring him up in the bullpen to ease his way in, at least initially. And I went so far as to say I think he will be on the Dodgers' 25-man roster by the 4th of July.
Oh, wow, that quickly. Wow.
I'll see. Well, I had the Dodgers in first place by June 15th, so we'll see what happens. Hey Frank, I want to clear up the line unless you got something else you want to drop in.
No, that's it. That's plenty. I appreciate you.
Well, okay, buddy. You know where we're at. You kind of know where to find us. We'll either be on Facebook or YouTube. I'm going to see how this YouTube thing works out. We were rocking and rolling on Facebook, but couple of the fans said, "Hey, why don't you do something on YouTube?" So we might go back and forth. But thanks for calling. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, sounds good.
All right,
guys.
Take care. Bye-bye. So, Ron, Dodger pitching is, as far as I'm concerned, what's winning us games right now. That's pretty much how it goes. What do you think? Want to come say hi?
You hear me okay?
Yeah, hold on 1 second before you get started. I want to introduce someone. This is one of the beauties from Dodger Fan Weekly.
Dodger Fan Weekly.
They are they're pretty much giving me support and helping me out with this show, and I basically took their audience and kind of started running with it. Thank you very much.
That's cool. We're going to have a new Dodger Fan Weekly show, though, coming up this coming week. Yay.
People have been asking about you.
Well, we're going to have it. And we're going to give away the Silver Slugger, Corey Seager you guys were just talking about.
Give me that. That is mine. All right, it's mine. Anyway, I got to go to 2 games in a row, and they won both games. Every Dodger fan out there, so I need to go to every game. I'm going to touch you.
Don't I?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Kenta Maeda.
Yeah.
Very good showing, and that's 2 in a row. Really good for him. He looked great.
Was his family up there today? Did you notice?
I believe a couple of them were. It was kind of quiet up there today.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, hello everybody. Talkin Blue Live.
Hello.
That's Ron on the line.
Oh, hi Ron.
Yeah, I guess I'm everybody.
No, let's see.
You are all the time.
Oh no, we're rolling pretty good. We got some fans watching, then more fans will watch tomorrow. But hey, folks, the line is open, so go ahead and call in. So go.
Can I ask a quick question?
Hold on a minute. Dodger Fan Weekly wants to ask a quick question.
Are people on YouTube commenting live like they do on Facebook? Can they?
I think they can. I don't know that they are. I'm not able to watch.
I mean, that was kind of fun on Facebook, I thought.
Yeah, a lot of people communicate that way. So I guess if you're on YouTube, if you can communicate that way, go ahead and try, and I'll see if one of our assistants here can help out.
I'll go get some PAs in here.
All right.
Get you some help. Anyway, bye, everybody.
Thanks for dropping by. That's a nice surprise. All right, Ron. So back to you, buddy. Let's talk baseball. What do you got? So we just took 2 out of 3. I got to do my little 76 ball. Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, I pregame during the pregame scrum with Doc. I asked him if he was going to let go of the reins on Maeda, and Doc quoted. He said he kind of smiled, he smirked a little bit, and he says, "Yeah," he says, "I think I'll let him throw a 110 pitch complete game." And he kind of chuckled at that, and I kind of chuckled at that, and then he got serious and says, "Yeah, we'll see how it goes and see how it plays out and all." And lo and behold, he didn't throw a complete game. He threw 111 pitches.
Yeah,
and so I kind of kidded with Doc about that. He gave me an extra pitch. So, but Maeda, Doc was wanted him to get through the 7th, but he couldn't do it. He was a little bummed that he couldn't do it. But he went farther. He actually let him go farther than he was originally going to let him go. So that 110 thing was a bit of a. He was kind of exaggerating a little bit.
Are they giving him extra rest? Do you know? Is he getting like his 5 days in between? I haven't really been paying attention. Is he getting extra rest?
That was one of the questions that was asked, and Doc's answer was that he would give him an extra day when they had an extra day.
Yeah.
Which, like, we have one tomorrow, so that'll play out well. And then, but other than that, he's in the rotation. So they want to be able to do it, and they will do it when they can. So that's what he said tonight. That wasn't a specific question, as a matter of fact.
Well, I just earlier I mentioned that Kenta Maeda ranked 6th in the National League in total wins since his debut in 2016, as reported by Dodgers Nation. That's pretty good. I mean, he's up there with Scherzer, Lester, Arrieta, Strasburg, Greinke, and then Maeda. So he's been very quietly been a good pitcher for the Dodgers, hasn't he?
He has, and one of the media guys asked if Maeda had said that he made a change in his delivery mechanics after Miami, and in that he was not rushing his delivery quite as much, and to that end, it ended up being helpful. It flowed a lot better. He says when he was kind of rushing it, he was opening up a bit.
Yeah.
But in this case, he's Doc spoke very highly of him. He said he was great fastball command. He says his slider was just wipe out.
You know what he was
slider. So.
You know what he was doing that really I particularly love. I love a good pitching duel, but performance too. But he was changing speeds. He was keeping these guys off balance in such a beautiful way. I dare say he reminded me a little bit of a great pitcher named Greg Maddux. He was just, their timing was way off, and he was dotting the I's and crossing the T's. He just had a great performance today. And when your starter does that, it makes the game a lot easier.
Well, the one thing that Doc was, he liked the fastball command. He said that was probably, that set everything up.
Yeah.
And he said he was on the glove side, he was hitting his mark. On the outside, he was hitting his mark with the fastball. And that sets everything up. And then that slider, which he threw more tonight than he's ever thrown before. And it was just, it literally was a wipeout slider. And guys, I mean, he struck out 12. That's phenomenal. 12 and 7, 6.2,
well,
I guess it was.
He struck out Arenado with a changeup. He struck out a couple guys with changeups today. So you're right. When you're spotting your fastball like that, everything else is that much more effective. But I just couldn't believe how off balance these good hitters are. And who really wants Arenado and Goldschmidt? What a couple awful. They used to be Dodger killers, and this year, so far so good.
Well, Gerardo Parra is the guy that's owned the Dodgers this year.
Yeah.
It's been, every time he came up tonight, you just kind of cringe. But let's see what we got. We got a 3-4 ground out, and we got count them, 3 Ks. Now, that last one was Kenley, of course, but Maeda struck him out twice tonight. So that's getting it done.
Yep. Kenley got it done. Maeda got it done. The hitters did a good job getting them on, getting them over. Hey, Ron, you're not near a monitor, are you?
I am.
Can you?
I'm actually sitting at the counter. I got a bunch of people around me wondering who the hell I'm talking to. But
can you see the feed on YouTube?
I do.
Okay. Tell me when the question of the day pops up. You can see it.
It's there.
All right.
Well, what is this a list of?
What is this a list of? So I'm going to go ahead and check this out. What is that a list of, Ron? Don Drysdale, 59, 60, 242, 246, Colfax, Drysdale, Colfax, Valenzuela, Nomo, Kershaw. Do you know what that's a list of?
I saw the 301 there. Strikeouts, 301 strikeouts. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that.
That is exactly right. That is the Dodgers, the league leaders, strikeout leader when it was a Dodger.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of point that one out to this organization is completely built. Are you at In-N-Out Burger?
Am I at In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, but I probably will be in a little bit.
Okay. So that's just kind of representative of what this organization has been built on and it's going to continue to be built on. Obviously, is pitching.
Let me throw something by you here. Can you imagine if instead of it being called Tommy John surgery, it was called Sandy Koufax surgery? Can you even imagine?
Now, what's your point? What does that mean? Just
he could have Sandy Koufax had a Hall of Fame career, but he could have gone another.
Yes.
He could have gone another, whatever, 4, 5, 7. Who knows?
Yeah, you're right. Dr. Job was just came along a little too late. You're right. Sandy Koufax had an incredible 3 or 4 or 5 year run, but that was about it. It wasn't,
it was a Hall of Fame career. To do that in that short period of time is just, it's mind boggling. But just imagine if they had anything like that. They called it arthritis. Remember? They called it arthritis.
Yeah.
It was probably an ACL. It was something that Tommy John surgery would have fixed.
In 1965, he'd had 382 strikeouts. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the year that when Yogi Berra said he went 25 and 5, I think he was, and he said, I can understand how he won 25. I just don't know how the heck he lost 5.
Yeah. Right there. Come on now. If you're out there and you want to talk, I know it's late. It's probably too late for people to call in. It's 10:30. All right. So let me just see here.
Well, this game, when the game is over, the official score announces the game time. This game took 2 hours and 38 minutes.
Yesterday was 2 hours and 38 minutes too. Are you kidding me? Really?
I didn't know if that was the exact number, but here we are.
That's great.
Tonight was 2:38. I wrote it down.
That's
and they started a minute late.
Pace of play. Oh, that never happens. Really?
They started at 7:11.
Dodger fans did.
So this could have been 2:37. Should have been.
When you're at the game, do yourself a favor. As soon as that pitcher throws the first pitch, look up at the clock by the foul pole. Dollars to donuts, 99% of the time, that is going to say 7:10. Am I right, Ron?
Absolutely. The umpires are huge on that. I mean, when the pitcher is warming up, and you get down to the last couple of warm-up tosses, the umpire starts to walk out towards the mound, and then he also points to the batter on deck, and he'll give him the one more pitch sign, one finger. And they want to start on time every time.
I've seen the umpire tell the pitcher he was done, warmed up, ready to go, and tell the pitcher to wait, and he looked at the clock, and when it said 7:10, he said, come on, let's go. So...
Yep. They do that. I think that probably has something to do with TV. You think?
I don't know. They do. I don't know, buddy. Because they don't do that in hockey. They don't do that in football. They don't do that in basketball. And they all got their TV deal. I just think that one of the beauties of baseball is the fact that it's built on such strong traditions. And I just think that's a tradition to start on time. But maybe you're right. All right. Look. Remember we've done in the past the question of the day: who played the most? Who was the primary second baseman and who was the primary first baseman, right? And then at second base, we learned it was Davy Lopes, and at first base, I believe it was Gil Hodges. Well, this time I want to do who played the most years as a team's primary shortstop, Ron. And I only ask you because nobody else is going to know the answer to this, and you might not too. But
well, I remember I said last week that it's always safe to go with Lopes, Russell, Garvey, and Say, but in this case, I'm going to go with a guy by the name of Maury Wills.
And let's see what the answer is. Oh, Maury Wills is third.
Oh, okay.
He's got 10. Well, the Dodgers are pretty loyal with their shortstops because Bill Russell is second, and he would have been your guess otherwise if you didn't go Maury.
Yeah.
And that's 12. Pee Wee Reese.
Yeah.
And we're talking Brooklyn and L.A., that's why.
Yeah, I should have had that.
I think you done pretty good. Rafael Furcal, 4 on the bottom. But, for as much as he played with the Dodgers, he's on a list of theirs. That's cool. And then one more, Ron. On opening day, these are the players of opening day of what year? Now that's...
I gotta wait for it to come up.
Yeah, it'll be up in a second. I'll let people look at it for a second. Opening day. These are the players that started on opening day of what year? And the crazy thing is here, look, there's Matt Kemp. Carl Ethier, Blake DeWitt, Andrew Jones, good Lord, James Loney, Russell Martin, Brad Penny, Brad Penny. Any idea?
I want to go 2008.
Oh, bingo. This man knows baseball. Yes, you did. 10 years ago. 10 years ago, that was a Dodgers starting lineup. Blake. And I'm not sure that's the exact order. It probably is, but look at Matt Kemp 10 years ago. It just doesn't seem like he's been around that long.
I believe that was his first year. He and Kirsch came up the same year, if I'm not mistaken. Kirsch came up later in the year.
Okay. And then let's do one more. It's kind of late, so we had a couple calls before you got in, but that's cool because I get to spend more time with you. But fans, there's the number. Don't be shy. We're just talking baseball. Ross Porter once told me, just tell people get nervous. Just tell them you're just talking baseball. So we're just talking baseball. Chain of teammates. I wanted to go from Pee Wee Reese to Bill Russell. Pee Wee Reese being the top, those being the top two guys playing shortstop. And the guy that brings them together, and Don Drysdale in 1957 played with Pee Wee Reese. And then pretty much all of Double D's career, he played with Maury Wills. And then Don Drysdale played with Bill Russell on the 69 Dodgers. Chain of teammates.
Yeah, I could see that one happening. That one is not. That one, I'm not as blown away by that as the others.
Where are you at right now?
I'm sitting in the press box.
Oh, you're in the press box. Okay. And here's one more. This is a weird one you'll see come up. I found this thing where I can hook up actors and athletes. So I thought, athletes are always, you never see an actor on the field of play, but you do see athletes in the field of entertainment. So I thought I'm gonna hook up Clint Eastwood and Sandy Koufax. Now, if there's a person in the world out there who can hook up Clint Eastwood and Sandy Koufax with a guy named Lyle Talbot. Clint Eastwood and Lyle Talbot in 1959 played in an episode of Rawhide. And then Lyle Talbot in 1959, same year, played on an episode of Dennis the Menace with Sandy Koufax, thus connecting Sandy Koufax and Clint Eastwood. And I got give a bonus to the person who found that one. Nice job. Nice job. So
yeah, that's Clint Eastwood. He was Rowdy. That was his name on Rawhide back in the day. Yeah. So,
but and
he was he was regular.
Sandy Koufax must have done more than just a little bit of acting, because I also remember he was on Mr. Ed one episode too. So he was on Dennis the Menace.
I think he was on that, and he might have been on Beverly Hillbillies also.
Oh, lefty. All right. So you know what? I think we've been going here for about 50 minutes. It's our first YouTube date. It'll be running tomorrow or in the next couple of days on YouTube. We'll push this out. Ron, anything else? What else you want to talk about? Anything?
The one thing that I asked Doc about in the post game was that about the base running, which it was really good tonight from everybody. And Doc, I mentioned Puig, and Doc from Puig, he took it down to Barnes taking third, and just fantastic base running tonight. Matt Kemp, there was one little blunder there, but Doc spoke very highly of the aggressiveness on the bases, and that's something that I'm a big fan of, and I think that's how you can win or lose games, by either being overly aggressive or not being aggressive enough. I like to err on the side of overly aggressive. I actually thought Chris Taylor was going to steal a base tonight. He didn't. Instead, he kind of dogged it into second base and got tagged out. But fortunately, the return to throw to first was okay, so the runner was safe. But anyway, that was my takeaway tonight. Was I like the base running.
Well, that's a nuanced thing, base running, but it's such a big part of the game. People can say this team isn't built for small ball, and that's probably true. We are kind of like the old Orioles, get 2 on and hit a 3-run homer and win the game. But, small ball, you can not be built for small ball, but if you can run, you're right, especially situational running at the right time, taking an extra base, forcing the other team to make an error. You could play small ball that way. You don't have to be, if you got speed, you can definitely,
Well, here's one for you, Tom. How many home runs were hit tonight?
I don't think any were hit.
None.
Yeah.
And every Dodger run was a result of smart base running, aggressive base running.
Yeah.
Not stealing a base, but taking an extra base on a throw, tagging up on the flies. So I get you what you're saying about the Bash Brothers type thing and the home runs, but it's imperative, I think, to be able to, if you want to call it small ball, it was small ball. Yeah, there were doubles. I think there was only one extra base hit tonight. Maybe two. There was two. There's a ground rule double. Forsythe had one also, but
well, there was a point in the game, Ron, precisely what you're talking about, where the ball went out to left, and they cut the ball off and threw the guy out at second. Well, I believe it was the catcher, if he wasn't hustling home, and that run would not have scored, and he was hustling home, Barnes. So he hit home plate before the guy was tagged out at second. Such a small thing, but huge because it's a run. I mean, people can get all excited. Someone hits a home run and jump up and down and go crazy. Well, that was just every bit as important as a home run, or as good as a home run. You tallied a run, and all it was a matter of a guy just hustling when he needs to hustle. So I'm with you totally on that.
That was a discussion. A couple of us there in the press box, we were talking about that. That run scored before the out was made.
Right.
And I looked over at the official score, and I'm staring at him. We'll wait for that call, and he gives it to him, gives him the RBI. Who got the RBI, I believe it was. That was when he kind of tore up his arm pretty good going into second base. You can see he's going to have a real good infield rash burn there on his forearm. From he's not the most graceful slider, if you get my drift there, but he did a good job on that one.
Yeah, graceful is not when he's running. Sometimes he can out in the outfield. He can be graceful. But you actually brought up something that I think Dodger fans might be interested in, Ron. And if you're out there, give us a call. I know it's super late, and we will be just so we know. Next Sunday after the series, we'll be back on probably I might try YouTube again. But anyway, Ron, you bring up something very interesting, and you have an insight that I've never had. And most Dodger fans don't have, and I wondered if you might share a little bit of the experience with us. Is there's an official score up in the press box?
Oh
right?
yeah.
Now,
oh yeah.
Now let me ask you. Let me just ask you some questions before you kind of just go off on what that means and what that is. May I ask a couple questions?
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. Yeah.
So is this?
I know one of the they have two that normally trade off. The one who I've become friends with, his name is Jerry White. He was not working tonight, so I did not.
You didn't know this.
Jerry wasn't here tonight. But they are official scores. They're employed by Major League Baseball, and they're assigned to. I'm sure it's convenient to assign to where you live or nearby where you live. And that's their job, is to interpret the rules. By the way, that play I was just talking about, this was the official scores. It was Puig was safe at second on a fielder's choice. It was not a base hit because of the way the whole thing done. It was a fielder's choice.
Right.
He was safe at second, but he got the RBI.
Right.
So that every major league team has an official score for every game.
Okay, so that's
so too do the minor leagues.
Okay, so let's stick with the majors for a minute. Typically, and my thought was that it was a local beat writer, a local writer. That's not the case. Was it ever the case?
I don't know.
Okay,
not that I remember, and if it was before me.
So now it is someone that's hired by the team. Now, do these official scores, as far as you know, have any sort of expertise, or are they just how do you do? Can I go fill out an application to become an official scorer? Do you know?
You have to go through classes. They have it's interesting you mentioned that, because I spoke with Jerry White several weeks ago, actually early in the season, and asked him that. And they meet. They have a conference of official scores before the start of every season, and they go over. They go over any changes in the rules that are going to could possibly be a factor. Any rule changes. This pace of play thing was a big one this year, because when that umpire turns around and points, that's who he's pointing to.
Right.
He's pointing to the official score
to say
so,
that's a mound visit.
They tally those mound visits. So. Anyway, one of the stories I asked Jerry, I said, he's been doing it, I forget how many, I think he said 36 years. I mean, there's not a lot of turnover, because these guys do it, and sometimes they blow it. I'll admit it. They'll give a guy in the air that should have been a hit, or vice versa. But by and large, they are very, very good. They try to keep an unbiased, open view. It's hard when you work for the same team every time and you get behind the passion of the team, but it's the same guy. So, but I asked Jerry. I says, Jerry, you've been doing this for 36 or 38 years, or however long it's been. You've probably seen everything. And he laughed. He says, at the conference this year, one of my colleagues said the exact same thing. You've been doing it for this long, that you've seen everything. And Jerry's reply to that was, I guarantee you, before the end of this season, I will see something that I have never seen before. And about 2 weeks later, something happened really bizarre. And forgive me, I don't recall exactly what it was, but I saw him the next time I was in the press box. I mentioned to him, had you ever seen that before? He goes, nope. I told you, Ron, that there would be something that I had never seen before. And he says, and we're only a month into the season. I says, I have a good feeling I'm going to see 2 or 3 other things I've never seen before. No, so baseball it's an incredible game.
It is. It's an incredible game. It is. No, the official scorer and I'm really trying to figure out what that play was now, but it'll probably pop to me in the middle of my sleep tonight. I know it. But no, the official score, errors, he calls errors, right? What else, what else does the official scorer do? What's it his job to do?
Oh, remember I talked about the first pitch?
Right.
Official game time.
Right.
And that's their job. Although they don't do the counting, they report the attendance, which, by the way, tonight was 45,884.
Tickets sold.
They rule on. I mean, obviously they don't do the umpiring, so the safer outs they don't do. But it's a lot of times you'll have what they call a 1+1. You'll have a hit and then an error on the same play, which gives a guy or an extra base or allows a run to score or whatever the case may be. So it's 1+1. So they're constantly. I mean, they are very involved in the game, obviously.
Yeah, no turning away.
It's just not a matter of putting tallies up. You know,
right.
They scored 3 and they scored none. It's how they scored them. And here's something. They have I want to say 36. It's at least 24, but they have 30. I think they have 36 hours in which they can change a call.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've heard that. Well, my feeling is my only beef about official scores is because they are local guys. Sometimes I wonder if they just don't rule a little bit in the home team's favor. Like if a local guy makes an error, not really call it an error, because it just seems to me I got a rule when it comes. If I was an official scorer, this would be my standard. If 90% of the time a major league player makes that play, it's an error. That's kind of my feeling about it. And sometimes I'll see a play and I'll go, 90% of the time a major league player makes that play, and they'll still like call it a hit. But at the end of the day, that's kind of a high pressure job for something so innocuous.
It is a high pressure job, and the guys that do it are very, very low key people.
I bet.
Very easy going people. I love the guys. They're just really, really. The other thing is, and you need this is good old Rob Manfred's got he's got his thumb on every aspect of the game. If a scorer consistently makes questionable calls on what appears to be favorable to the home team, they won't be official scorers very long.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
They are policed. They are policed by
integrity of the game, man. Integrity of the game. That's one of the things about baseball is the integrity of the game. It's most important.
Much so.
It's the most important thing to me. Hey, real quick, tell Eric Steven I want him to come on the show, or maybe we can call him or something one day. He's been a little bit elusive, and I really admire the guy. So at least ask him for me if you would.
Well, he the last 2 times I've been here, he hasn't been here. I know his plate is ridiculously full,
I'm sure.
full because he's a walking encyclopedia. I mean, so
well, I've had
it's brain, but I suspect that it's not out of spite or anything like that. I don't think he has anything wrong with his body.
Yeah, I get it.
He's just busy. Yeah, I know he does a podcast. He's
right.
So he's constantly in motion.
Yeah,
I do know Ryan Walton fills in for him from time to time for the True Blue LA.
He does.
The site.
So Ryan would be just as well.
Yeah, Ryan's a good guy. He was not here tonight. I didn't see anybody from True Blue LA here tonight.
Yeah. It's funny. I've had several people, Hornstra, Rob Fukuzaki, several people say, yeah, I'd come on your show. I'd call. I'd be glad to. But I'm filing my reports afterwards. And really, if you did a pregame show, I'd be there. And it just doesn't work out for me this year to do a pregame show. Maybe if times or anything changes next year, I could do pregame, postgame, whatever. But all right, are you about ready to wrap this up?
I'm ready to wrap it up.
All right, let me just do a couple things.
Before you do, I think I have a date with a double-double.
Yes, I bet you do.
How's that the segue for you?
There's a double-double, and folks, if you have a few extra bucks, and I know Ron's helping him out with his consumption, but In-N-Out Burger Foundation, It does really great stuff for kids. They've you know, you don't see them around a lot. They don't go around with their hands out a lot, but they, you know, you can help them out. And so I would hope that you could maybe give a little bit of effort and a little bit of money to In-N-Out Burger Foundation, and then Ron's double purchases will help with that. I want to thank the girls at Dodger Fan Weekly for supporting me from the beginning of this show. We've been doing pretty good, haven't we, Ron? Doing as far as sticking to getting all these shows done. There's going to be 51 of them.
Well, I think you might be buying some tickets for these ladies here. If Dodgers keep winning every time they show up.
Yeah, well, that's right.
That's pretty important.
Yes, it is. We do 27 Sundays, 18 Wednesdays, and 7 Thursdays, folks. We do the game at the end of every series. So at the end of the series, we talk about the series. We have callers. We have guests. We do some, some side things to keep it interesting. And if you're out at the if you can't watch the Dodgers and you can't, think about the Dodgers and there's no reruns and your YouTube broke down so you can't watch old Dodger highlights, if the Dodgers are just out of the question, go to Auto Club Raceway at Pomona. It's a lot of fun. It's a family. It really is a family experience. The kids freak out. They love it. And and you don't really have to hear the kids freak out because the engines are so noisy. They drown the kids out. Check it out. It's a great place to go have some fun. And I think Dodgers, hit the cookies. You're doing a good job so far, but keep hitting the cookies.
I think they need it. Give them a day out. Let's give them a day off tomorrow. What do you say?
Yeah, we'll give them a day off. No cookies tomorrow. And then I'm still going to push for the Taco Bell in center field. When a fly ball comes and hits that bell, the bell's lower. It's not in the batter's view. When it comes over and hits that bell, you hear a dong, and then it goes up in the air, and everybody gets free tacos. Taco Bell, call me. I think it's a good idea.
I'm staring at it right now. The gate's open, by the way, right now.
Are you? Well, that's where the bell would be.
It looks just like your picture.
Yeah, well, then the bell would be there. I got some blue stuff I want to cover, but I'll cover it on the next show. Maybe we'll get the author of Blue to call in. But Blue's a man about town right now. And basically, Dodger fans, that's it. Thanks for calling in. I know it's late, so we didn't get a ton of callers, but we got some, and it was fun. Ron, thanks for being part of the show with me. And you good?
I'm good. I'm sorry I got in late. I had to get down there downstairs and get the latest skinny. But I'm good. It was a great win. I don't have the standings in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that the Dodgers are, I want to say 3.5 now. How's that sound? 3.5? Does that sound about right?
No, it's about 5.5. Oh, I don't know.
It's 5.5 coming in.
Oh, maybe you're right. We'll have to get up and look in the paper tomorrow. Anyway, Dodger fans, it's our first YouTube show. We covered a lot. We're going to cover a lot more in the future. At the end of the last game of each series, you'll find us either on Facebook or on YouTube. But more likely, maybe do YouTube the next time. I want to see how this one gets consumed after the live broadcast. And just remember, there's only one thing to say at the end of something like this, and that's go Dodgers.